Welcome to the Richard Sherman Podcast, brought to you by The Volume. Follow me all year long for the best content in the NFL. Make sure you subscribe. Talk to you soon. Got to take advantage. And the way you take advantage of it is keeping Jimmy G like they did. Bob!
Segue, sure. I love
it. I'm working on it.
Like you know what you're doing or something, man.
Almost. So how are you feeling about that? Because I know how I feel, and I know the stupidity that I hear on the outside and how much sense it makes on the inside. And I'm like, for the guys in the locker room and the guys that know him and love him, this is awesome. How you feeling about it?
Oh, I mean, I'm happy. I think Jimmy G just, like you said, everybody loves him in the locker room. There's no bad blood anywhere. We all respect Jimmy. We all respect him as a leader. We respect him as a quarterback. Him being in that room with, Trey Lance and Coach Shanahan, our offensive coordinators, I think that's going to be very beneficial for Trey. And while Trey's in the driver's seat and Trey gets to play quarterback, he has Jimmy G who knows how to win games, and he can learn a lot from him. So, I hope that that's how Trey takes this, and he just continues to play his game because Trey's a really good quarterback. He just needs a lot of reps, and those reps are coming, and he's going to get a lot better, and he's going to continue to get better. And I think with a guy like Jimmy behind him, I think that will continue to push Trey to want to be better as well. So I think it's really good for our team and grand scheme of things. Having a QB like that you can plug in if some worst case scenario happens. Hey, you know what you're going to get with Jimmy, and like you said, the whole locker room respects him.
It couldn't be a better situation for the 49ers. Obviously they made the decision last year when they drafted Trey. Everybody knew this was an inevitability, and I think even Jimmy does. And it just speaks to who he is as a person. And, it's teammate self. And he has not complained one bit. He has not said a bad word about anybody. He has not done anything but go about his business like a pro, like he always has. And I think you're right. I think it's going to be freaking amazing to just have that leadership, that experience. And people are like, oh, it's going to put so much pressure on Trey. No, it's not. Kyle already named him the starter. There's no confusion. Everybody on a championship team understands their role and they play it well. And I think that's the same with this situation. He's going to know his role. He's going to know what he's got to do. And he gets to stay in the locker room with his boys and likely win a dang Super Bowl. And he deserves the dang ring. It would be weird if y'all won a Super Bowl and Jimmy G didn't get a ring.
That'd be true. That is true. No, I agree with you. There's a lot of positives that come out of this. Like I said, Jimmy, he's a known winner. And that's what he's best at. He wins games. That's what he does. And so, and he has I don't know, you're not in the huddle with him, but you kind of sense he's got this intensity to him. And so there's aspects of football that aren't just X's and O's, and they're not just throwing the football, that Trey's going to learn from Jimmy, just how to carry yourself, how to do certain things. And Trey does a good job at that. Just Jimmy's been doing it longer, so he's just going to learn a lot of things from him. So I'm excited for it.
It gives you more peace. At least you sleep better at night as a team, just knowing that you continue to have that. If you're not one disaster away from the season being over, and every other team is one disaster away from the season, one quarterback injury away from their season being wrap it up. It's not going to happen this year for you. And that's anxiety that you guys don't have to deal with. That should stress.
Oh, dude. Isn't it crazy that no one really realizes that? You're just one thing away from well, that was 6 months of working out in OTAs that I'm really glad I put into.
Right. I put in all this work, and we got all these guys. You got the most talented roster. You got freaking top 5 at all these positions, and one injury can send all that home. Yep, good job, guys.
Isn't football the best?
It is the best and the worst at the same time.
Oh, my goodness.
So I miss you. I miss you as a teammate. I miss you as a friend. I miss being in the locker room, but I learned so much from the Kittler, Okay, that's cheating. You put it into the camera. You can't do that. You got to keep it low.
It's below my waist, dude. I know, man. Sure. There's nothing like you in the locker room, man. Seeing you on Thursday Night Football was an absolute blast.
Yeah, I had so much fun seeing you guys. I can't lie.
Oh, my gosh. It wasn't our best game, but the good news is we still had fun out there, and I got to see you. Dude, you have quite the group that you get to talk with every single week.
Right. I got one of the GOATs at tight end, and Fitz Magic.
Oh, holy cow, dude. You've got a squad up there.
Yeah, man. Not like you guys' squad. Talking about really great players who are children. Talk to me about Nicholas John Bosa, please.
Yeah. Dude, he is a massive amount. He's just a massive humanity. His quads are the size of my core. He is a child. He has this grown man routine that he does every single day. He does all the things to a T. Everything he does is his routine. He does it his way, but he does it at the highest level. But as soon as he's outside of that, he's just like a kid that just wants to hang out. He wants to watch like cartoons. He wants to listen to EDM music, and he just wants to hang out with the boys. Or he just locks himself away in his dungeon and just you don't hear from him for a couple of days.
Right.
Because this whole off season hibernating like a grizzly bear down in his elite weight room with Joey Bosa down in Florida. And they sit down there and hibernate, and they come back looking like bigger beasts than they were before, which is terrifying.
I just cannot imagine it. Like they were showing clips of what he was doing in Minnesota, and I was like, bro, this is just unfair for y'all to have to practice against this dude because y'all don't understand him. At least you guys have an elite talent to deal with his elite talent. Like when you don't have that and you're blocking him with tight ends, I'm sure those tight ends were coming up to you after and being like, bro, what the?
Yeah, what do you do? I mean, like, Nick does this thing that no one else has ever done. And like one of my first times ever going to him when he was a rookie, I passed it on him. And Nick doesn't bull rush a lot in practice because it's awesome. He's like, why would I bull rush? It's a waste of a rep. Like I can bull rush every rep. That's a waste. Like, I'm going to try something new every single time.
Right.
I'm like, awesome. I appreciate because in my head, I'm like, okay, if I'm not going to get bull rush, then I can be a little bit lighter on my feet and I don't have to anchor and punch. Right. And I go to punch one time and he just grabbed both my wrists and just pulled me to the side and then went past me. And I just turned around and I was like, oh, whoa.
This guy's a rusher.
Yeah, I was like, no one's ever grabbed my wrist and pulled before. And I said, that was new. There goes my whole plan. I'm going to figure something else out now. So, yeah, no, I mean, I love going against Nick. Yeah, like, he definitely, like, if you're not 100% on, he wins no matter what. And so, like, there's not very many people in the league like that. Also, like, he's a guy, like, if Trent Williams isn't practicing, nothing against our backup left tackle, whoever it is, like, our offense is in for a world of hurt that day if Nick decides to practice hard. Like, Nick's a guy that literally could not practice and still show up on Sundays and be one of the best players in the NFL. I'll also say this year, I think Nick Bosa is, I want to say he's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's going to have a shot at being an MVP as long as people give him the flowers when he's out there and he sets a new sack record and stuff. That man, like, I know he's going to get double teams. He's going to get chipped every single play, but he's so good that.
How can they? With Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead, the kid Drake Jackson, like, how are they going to be able to double him? Like, if you don't double them, Kinlaw and Armstead, your guards are in your lap.
No, and then I think all you have to do is put Nick away from Armstead so they can't slide to both of them. You're going to give Kinlaw, whether it's Kinlaw or Armstead's going to get 2. Nick might get a chip, but your other defensive end and your other tackle are each going to have these one-on-ones. And there's not a lot of guys that are sturdy enough to handle Kinlaw. And our other ends, for whether it's Drake, whether it's Sampson, whether it's Kerry Hyder, those guys know how to rush the quarterback. Kerry Hyder had 10.5 sacks for us in 2020.
Right, I was there.
Yeah, you were there. Like, we got guys that know how to rush the pass. We got guys that know how to stop the run. And guess what? We have 3 of some of the best linebackers in football right behind him. And I think our secondary looks pretty decent too.
Come on now, dude. It's almost like you guys are a pretty good team.
Some would say, sure.
Some would say.